So we're at like part 6. Whose goals? Are they your goals? Are they somebody else's goals? So really, let's just be honest. Okay, what do you think the opinion's going to be of a travel coach on playing one sport versus multiple? Probably play one sport because it's a travel coach. So that's what they're thinking about. If it's a school coach, one sport versus multiple. Here's the thing: most people don't realize the majority of the places that I get feedback from, where we hear from our kids, the coach is mad at me because I'm doing this or not doing that. Most people would assume that a high school is going to give feedback to a kid to play multiple sports, right? Not correct. That's actually not correct at all. If the coach in the high school coaches multiple sports, the feedback is to coach and to play multiple sports. So if the coach is primarily in one sport, their feedback to the kid, guess what their feedback's going to be? Oh, that's a good guess. Yeah, they're going to say focus on one sport, right? So I've gotten calls where I've gotten negative feedback from one school district, and I've gotten calls where I got negative feedback from another school district, and the funniest part is they're 180 degrees apart. So one school district says, "Oh, well, is Mr. Kutri telling you to play multiple sports? Why is he doing that? You need to be focusing on this." And then the other school district says, "Is Mr. Kutri telling you to play one sport? Well, that's just not right. It's not very helpful." I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm saying to the kid that's playing one sport, maybe you want to like try some different movements, okay? So that you become a more sustainable and more athletic person for somebody to recruit, if that's what your goal is. On the other side, I'm telling people, hey, listen, you're playing 3 sports. Where you at? That's good. It's not a problem. Make sure that you've got goals set for each individual season. When somebody sits down and tells me they don't really care, but they're saying I'm trying to get ready for this. Well, are your decisions really a reflection of what you're trying to do? Because if you're saying you wanted to do one thing, but then you're not making the decisions that reflect that, that's really confusing. So what we try to do is get them to ask the questions and understand where they're trying to get, what they're trying to do, and then once they get past a certain age, then that needs to be, if somebody looks at somebody, oh, this is what they want to do, this is what they're going to do. Now, for some people, that might mean decisions that have to do with things that you might not see if you don't ask this person a question. So, for instance, last year we had a situation, and it was a tough situation, where one of our athletes, he really needed to get his grades up. They weren't bad, but when I ask somebody, what are your grades, if they don't have an immediate GPA that they give me, they're not really paying close attention to it. Now, unfortunately, a lot of teachers don't keep their information updated. So if I say they're mid-semester and I say, hey, where's your GPA? And it's not updated, a lot of times it's actually the teachers, and this isn't a kick on teachers. They have, it's some of them are older and they're not used to the computer setup and stuff like that. So, but the student athlete, it's their responsibility to hold teachers and the system accountable so that they know where they are. And if it's important, I guarantee that they know. And most teachers, the majority of them, are more than happy to actually help and say, hey, this is where you are. All you have to do is ask. It's that simple. So, and then the teacher becomes more interested because the student is more interested. Well, with this one particular athlete, he needed to get his grades up because he was very good at his sport. And with his sport alone, he would be enticing as a Division I athlete. But his academics were not going to be enticing to a coach. No coach wants to bring somebody on that looks like they're getting by. They want somebody who's going to excel. They want somebody who's going to raise the consciousness of the team. Again, it goes back to the sports talent book. It goes back to, it's more than just athletics. It's a student athlete that we're trying to develop so that they continue to progress for the rest of their life. Safely, sustainably, efficiently, economically, all that stuff, that's what we're talking about. So this person had to make a decision, and it was a tough decision. And I tell you what, he did not get short-term, immediate, positive feedback from anybody. That's a tough decision to make.